Here's why jobs want you to have a college degree in order to get in to their organizations. Oh, excuse me. What's good, everybody? Rhetorical question. Life. My name is Heavy Bree, and welcome to my channel. And if this is your 330th time on my channel, welcome back. Appreciate every single last one of you for watching my videos, taking time out of your busy day to listen to my talks and rants and all that. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about employment and why certain jobs want you to have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or some kind of high-priced or so-called high-value schooling or degree in order to get into their organizations. Now, this doesn't include doctors, lawyers, dentists, engineers, and other professionals that specialize in a specific skill. Because there are jobs that have requirements for you to join them, and those requirements and the job is not even a managerial position, or a position that requires you having a specialized skill. And you'll go on a job board and you'll see a job that requires you to have 4 years of college and 10 years of work experience, but they'll hire someone who doesn't have that much work experience, does have a degree, but their parents or someone they know got them into that job. Now, the reason why a lot of jobs and a lot of organizations, drop my pen. The reason why a lot of jobs and organizations want you to have degrees is because they know that you are desperate. They know that you just went to school for 4 years and you have close to about $100,000 in student loans. So because they know that you have all those loans at ridiculous interest rates, and you need to pay all that off, they know that once you get into their organization, you won't just up and leave. You see, because you got to pay off those student loans. You don't have a job, you don't have any work experience, but they know, and they know that, so they want you to have these degrees, to have a degree for a job, for a manager position Now, don't get me wrong, if you have the experience in that field, there are some places that will hire you without a degree, but the ones that absolutely require you to have a bachelor's degree, they do that because they know that if you have a degree, you have student loans, and you're desperate to pay off those student loans. And if you're constantly if you need employment, you're desperate for employment, you need to pay off those student loans, so they require you to get the degree because they want to make sure you're not going to quit. They want to make sure that you're not going to just say, once you realize the job is stressful, the job sucks, it's like a person who has no debt, a person who has debt or doesn't really have a lot of options. They have to pay off that debt, they have to pay off those loans, they got to pay off the credit card bills, they got to pay off their student loans, they have to pay off they have expenses, okay? And when you have all of that, you don't have a lot of freedom and a lot of options. It's either pay that off, or it's going to get a lot of worse, or you can't get a house, you can't afford to buy other stuff. And because debt is a trap that's used to keep people desperate and compliant, so that they work certain jobs that they don't really want. But again, this is all kind of theory that I'm speaking about. Just some theoretical that we're just thinking about. Because I see people who have jobs that they don't like, and they stay in those jobs because they have student loans, because they have credit card bills, or because they went out and financed, not bought, but financed a vehicle because they needed the new 2027 Camry, or whatever car they needed, whatever car they bought. Like, they needed that in order to because everybody else they know has that car. They had to keep up with the Joneses, or they went out, or because they needed to finance that house, even though it's just them and their spouse. So I say all that to say, don't do things out of desperation, okay? Don't take on a job because you're desperate. But more importantly, don't put yourself in debt. Look, I'm all for people going to college if you have a skill or a trade that you like, that requires a degree, like becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, becoming an engineer, becoming a dentist, becoming a software engineer, stuff like that, practical things. But if you're just going to college for the experience, you're going to college because you want to get out of your town and see a new place, or worse, you're going to college because you want to an Ivy League school just for prestige, just because, I get into this school, I can say that I went to Yale, I went to Princeton, I went to Berkeley, I went to Harvard. You're doing it that's stupid, okay? I think that's dumb, okay? Unless you come from a family where like $112,000 isn't nothing to them, like your schooling is bought and paid for by your parents. Okay, whatever. Go ahead, have fun. Like having experiences for for $250,000. But if you aren't that person, if you come from like middle class or lower middle class, or if you weren't raised with a silver spoon in your mouth, then you shouldn't be trying to like go to college just for the experience. So there's a lot better ways to have experience, to experience new things. You could travel, you could travel the world, travel to a different continent, live in a different place, meet new people, and do all those experiences for a fraction of the price that it would have cost to go into college. Don't get me wrong, you go to college, you meet some interesting people, you have some fun, you have new experiences and everything. It's cool, but like, you shouldn't go $100,000 into debt just to have those experiences. So I'm just putting that out there, something that was on my mind. I wanted to share it with you guys. Because like, once you have that degree, and you also get those student loans. And when you get those student loans, the interest is going to keep on going. And and making minimum payments on those student loans every year is only going to keep you further in debt, and because that interest is going to keep on going up. And by the time you finish paying off those student loans, you have paid about $150,000 or maybe $160,000 in debt, depending on how long it takes for you to pay them off. So, but if you guys want to know how to pay off your student loans, or just pay off, large debt within 5 years, click on the next video. I don't know how to post. Like, I'm still new to this whole YouTube thing. I've been posting videos on here for almost 2 years now, and I still don't know how to put the little description in the comment below. But once I get better at doing this, I'll probably, start putting up the video, a link to the video in the top corner below, above, or whatever. So I'll probably put the next video in the description so you guys know what I'm talking about. But if you guys want to know how to pay off your debts, or whatever you have going on within 5 years, look up that next video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace and blessings. Have a prosperous day.